Welcome, welcome. Hey, we are here. YouTube Revenue Challenge. I can already tell this is going to be fun. I can already tell y'all are going to be fun, okay? I want you to feel free to use the chat and I want you to feel free to give me a lot of feedback. We are live. This is Monday, March 9th. It's 11:01. We are live right now, but I want you to feel free to give me a lot of feedback and let us know how you're feeling throughout this, okay? I want you to answer me. I want you to participate in this. This is different than a course. Does everybody understand that? This is not just a course. This is not just one more thing you're going to watch. Even if you're in the replay right now, even if you're in the replay, I want you to participate, okay? Whether that's saying something out loud or acting on what we're going to do. You signed up for the YouTube Revenue Challenge. You made the right decision. And I want you to tell me and others in the chat why you signed up. Why did you sign up? And you can be honest. You can say one or two reasons that made you want to sign up for this and to dedicate the next 5 days to completely, potentially changing your life. Anybody believe that could happen for them? Anybody believe that? Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to give you some information because time is money, okay? Most people think of YouTube as maybe even like a social media platform. And in a lot of ways it is. A lot of ways it is. But what YouTube really is, and the people who make the most money on YouTube, the people who understand how to leverage YouTube, what we understand is that YouTube is first and foremost a search engine. It is entertainment, and then it's the combination of the two. And as Roland Martin, who has more than 1 million subscribers and does daily videos, as he told us in our mastermind once in my ecosystem, it is also an ad platform. YouTube is an ad platform. So I want you to know these things off the bat. I'm reading some of your answers. I need direction and accountability to post my videos consistently. I signed up because I want to grow my YouTube channel and I trust Arlan. Thank you. I signed up because I'm building a new YouTube channel and I need to earn revenue. Deb says I need to create a viable YouTube presence to support my mission. You signed up to the right thing. No matter what your answer was so far, I'm seeing the right people in the right place. And one thing I wanted to be really sure to do with this challenge throughout every single day, even in some of the more advanced lessons, is I wanted to make sure that everybody, as many people as possible, feel like this is attainable. You're already in here. You've already paid me money. And if you're in 360, if you're in the 360 pass, you're getting these challenges for free and you're getting your OSs for free. So I don't need to sell you today. What I want to do is make sure that the most people possible who are learning YouTube from me have success on YouTube. And I'll tell you one of my main reasons for that is, yes, it does help me make a living. Be really upfront with that because this is a revenue challenge. We're not going to be coy. But more than that, what it does is it helps, in my mind at least, it helps us offset the bad in the world. But say it another way is if you've ever seen someone on YouTube or any platform say something to their followers that you feel is unfair, unjust, or just plain wrong, our voices collectively help to challenge that. And that is what I've been doing my entire career, is going into spaces and disrupting those spaces. Going into spaces and challenging the status quo. So Because I believe and know that YouTube is your pulpit, it is your platform. Whether you are poor, rich, everything in between, it is, I'm dedicating part of my life to making sure that you get to change yours and other people's. Does this make sense so far? Are we on the same page? Because I want you to go into this understanding that you can do the things that I'm going to teach you. This is not for some other person who went to film school or some other person who knows how to be Mr. Beast type or some other person who has a lot of fancy equipment or this, that, and the other. I had this no excuses up from my last video that I did with the whiteboard, and I kept it because I don't want us to have excuses in this 5-day challenge. I don't want us to find excuses for ourselves. So I'm going to give you information. I'm going to give you inspiration. And I'm going to give you the tools and the steps that you must take to do these things and implement them. And then you're going to meet me halfway and you're going to implement them, even when it's a little scary. How many people here, let me know in the chat, how many people here are a little nervous about being on YouTube? You're a little nervous about being on YouTube. And tell me why in the chat. Why are you nervous? And you can be honest. This is a space for us to be honest. Now, know that the chat is going to be in the replay. Someone wrote it real fast and said, I mean, it went by real fast, but they said, I was scared, but I've gotten kind of used to it. That's a good point. And that's something we're going to go over this week is that if you're in your first 5K, which is a free school that I have, you should be in it. If you're not, it's awesome. I have a Foundations 101 video replay. And in that, I talk about how you are not something yet. I want you to think about the yet in all of this. So a lot of times, if we're just worried about how we will look or sound or what people might think, or even if we're good at it, if we can kind of keep people's attention, what will actually help that and fix that is just doing a lot of it. Just doing. So, in other words, if you post 0 videos, you will not get better at posting videos, filming them, creating them, publishing. Does that make sense? And if you post 1 video and stop, you certainly won't get better at posting and filming videos. But if you post 10 videos in a reasonable amount of time, call it 10 weeks or even less than that, it is inevitable. 99.9% of people will get better at it by the 10th video, and they will be more comfortable with it by the 10th video. Doesn't mean they're going to be solved. Doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. It just means it will inevitably get better. And then after that, the next 10 and so on. You'll see some people, like myself, I have 860 something videos. You'll see, and sometimes people ask me, how can you jump on Zoom, record a 45-minute video and just talk and just go? Well, I've got a lot of reps in. I got a lot of practice in. I already see questions in the chat, and I don't mind questions, but what I'm going to tell you is that this is a 5-day challenge. So you have to imagine that I have a lot in store for you, a lot of information, a lot of answers in store for you. So before you jump to ask questions, I'm going to encourage you to listen to what I have to say this week. And at the end of the week, I want you to see if you still have questions. Okay? So, yes, we can ask questions throughout. Yes, I will take questions at the end of each day. But I want you to switch your mindset into I'm not going to just find ways to ask questions. And again, it's okay. I want to switch that to I'm going to see what she has in store for me because I'm sure she has a plan. And then we're going to start asking questions. Because what we do when we ask a bunch of questions 5-10 minutes into it is that we're self-sabotaging. We don't realize it, but we're trying to find reasons for it not to work, or we're trying to find distraction. So the reason that I have more than 200,000 subscribers, the reason that I have, and you can always take pictures of anything you see here, but there will be a replay available to you. You purchased that too when you bought in. So you'll have the replay, so you can do that, and you can take pictures if you want. One thing before I tell you about my subscribers is this is um, a private session. So please do not post or share the link to this with anyone else. There are some ways we can find out if that happened, but I would really just appreciate it if you would just not do that. Even if you're answering somebody's question in your first 5K, where am I supposed to be? Do not link to this publicly, please. Okay, somebody can go to my channel and tell me how many I have, but I think I have about 202,000 subscribers as of today. I have at least, I want to say 5 million views, and most of those have happened in the last 18 months. And I make about 100K or so per month. Everybody say per month in the chat if you're hearing that. Per month because of YouTube. Because YouTube exists and because I actively and strategically work on YouTube daily. Per month. This is a revenue challenge. So throughout these 5 days, especially on day 3, we're going to go through the different types of income streams for YouTube. And you're going to be able to choose 1, 2, or 3 of those. I wouldn't choose all of them, right? But you're going to be able to choose a couple to hone in on. And what's really cool about it is that most of the ones that I make this money from are things that I build once, and it maybe takes me, let's say it takes me 5 hours, 10, maybe 20 hours to build in a given week or month. And then I sell it over and over again with this giant billboard platform of YouTube. So I get to then focus, and I'm seeing your chat, everybody. Thanks for the love. But then I get to focus on just using the highest leveraged thing. The highest leveraged is the actual YouTube production. If I put a YouTube video up, and I'm doing this in real time, it's very meta, but you all bought into this, so I'm telling you behind the scenes. If you were to go to my YouTube channel right now, or for March 9th, you will see that I put up a video just a few moments ago, maybe an hour ago. That video is about this challenge. You will also see, if you were to see behind the scenes, which I'm going to just tell you about, you will see that I have 2 times in the past 7 days where I did a I'm going to delete this video. I call it, and I think it's called an exploding video, meaning you put it up and then you take it down after a few hours and you say that you're going to do that. You'll see that in the last 7 days, I did that twice. Yeah, somebody said they saw that. Some people here are here because of that video. The reason I know that is because those two videos contributed to 30, everybody ready? $30,000 for this challenge in income so far. I posted last Sunday or Monday. I put up a Lovable page, and if you want to learn more about Lovable and sales pages, we're doing a challenge later this month. But I put up a Lovable page that took me 30 minutes. I put up a stand checkout page that took me 20 minutes at the same time as I was doing Lovable. So the whole thing took 30 minutes. I set up these Zoom calls. I went in and I decided what this would be about. What are the 5 days? What do people need to know in order to make money on YouTube? That took me a couple of hours just to get the idea. And then I posted it on your first 5K, where we have 19,000 people. You're following so far. I really want you to pay attention to this. It's like you just paid me 10,000 to come into my office and I'm telling you the behind the scenes. So I posted on your first 5K, 19,000 followers, very, very engaged, at least 1,900 of them, okay? And you are in there. Everybody was excited and everybody was curious about this challenge. Later that day, because the exploding videos for me work later at night, I put up the first exploding video. Within 24 hours, 60 people joined, and they had not started joining from that post on your first 5K yet. It was from the exploding video. Okay, so about 1 in every 50 views made me $171 on average cart value, because it's a $99 challenge that we're doing. And then there was a $360 upgrade total, so 260 upgrade for a total of 360. About 30% or so took that. And many more will during these 5 days, because you're going to know how valuable the 360 pass is. But just to start, the first 24 hours, 60 times 171. Somebody tell me in the chat how much money that is. Use your calculator, use your head. I could do it 34 times 3. It's about $10,000. Yep, 10,200. I'm going to believe that. 2,260 in 24 hours. I am not saying that you're going to put up a video tomorrow and that's going to happen to you. It took building. It took having the strategy. It took knowing what to post and having a really great product. But the power of that is always important and impressive to me. It's not like, oh, I make $1 million a year plus, so 10,000 doesn't impress me. Of course it impresses me. It impresses me like it impresses you. Somebody just said, why is it 171? I'll say it again, okay? I'll say it again. It costs $99 for the challenge. There is an upsell for a total of 360 for the 360 pass to do VIP. Approximately 30% of the people took the VIP upgrade. So when you do the math, it came out to about 171 on average cart value. Yeah. So that's 10,000. I did it again later on. And then what had happened was, a lot of people who follow me on YouTube are in your first 5K. Many of you all are. because of the combination of now some people seeing this and kind of understanding it more on the video, and I was able to say 60 people have joined, all these combined things came together, and we had, 200 or so, a little less than 200 signups so far. And I haven't checked it in the last couple of hours. So it always has this like big surge towards the beginning of it. So you never know. So what I know is 30,000. It is probably more. Yes, average cart value or average order value is another way of saying it. Um, say that here. Okay. So I just want you to know like the power of YouTube, not only in general, but right now. So if you were to go to my page right now, you'll see a video that's a pretty long video that is about this challenge. And what's going to happen there is that all week long, that video is going to be seen. First, it'll be seen by a couple thousand, maybe 2 or 3,000 people today. I don't know. We'll see. Then it'll be seen by a few hundred and so on. I don't think it's going to explode, but it might explode. It might. But either way, it's going to bring new people in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Because you get replays, you can catch up. And what I believe is that this is going to be a $50,000 exercise. And that's for some, I mean, it takes a lot to do this. Like to spend 5 days actively doing this is a lot of work, compared to like the other things you can do in a day. But I'm very energized by it. So I can do 20 of these a year. I want to take a moment to mention something that I think is important because I know everybody is like really stoked about these numbers and you're really starting to see the potential here. But I want to mention something to you. Everybody come around and get closer. YouTube, like any platform, could explode in a bad way. YouTube could, something could happen to it where it just no longer works the way it's been working the past 2 years, 2 or 3 years. And the algorithm could get wonky. They could make a decision at headquarters that changes how certain channels get seen. And it cannot do as well as it's doing now. It could also, your channel could be taken down. Like, what am I trying to say? Bad algo. So I'm gonna give us a sobering thought now. I'm gonna bring you back up in a minute, so don't worry. But I'm gonna be real with you because I need you to be well prepared and equipped to take YouTube seriously as a business, as part of your business or as a business itself. Okay, does this make sense, everybody? So YouTube, and if this scares the hell out of you and you're like, oh, I'm not going to even try, you're probably not going to enjoy the rest of the 5 days because you probably don't have enough interest in YouTube for this to work. Because I'm being as real with you as I would be with somebody paying me 25,000. I have people pay me $100,000 a year to work with me on YouTube. And this is the stuff I'm telling them, okay? So you don't get the rug taken from beneath you. It could be bad algo change. It could be that your channel gets demonetized, meaning it used to be that it would let you make money from AdSense, and we'll talk all about that on day 3 in depth. And then for some reason you do something where it takes that away, or it just decides you don't get money anymore. YouTube has a 3 strikes you're out situation. So you can get warnings, and that's just nothing, but it helps you to know something's wrong. Or you can get a strike. I've had one strike, and it was over a video several months ago where I was vibe coding and I was teaching people, I was teaching people how to make a certain type of website. And I don't know what I said in it, but YouTube said it was false claims. Okay. And it took away the ability. It was getting thousands of views a day, and it took away the ability for it to make money, and it took it off the site for 30 days. And I have one strike, and it's a 3 strikes you're out. Did I love that? No. But I'm on their platform. We're on their platform. So as much as we hate the idea that they could take away our channel or demonetize it, it is a possibility. It wasn't intentional, not at all. Someone said, I bet it wasn't intentional. It wasn't. These are possibilities. We are all adults. We are all entrepreneurs. We need, please stop using all caps in the chat. Thank you. We need to know that this is a possibility so that you do not build so high that it will just destroy you for it to fall apart. So how you must wonder like how I think about this, because I have built so much on YouTube, right? The way I think about this is I tell myself about once a week, I remind myself that this is a possibility. The channel being removed is super rare. Super, super, super rare. I keep in touch, I keep, tabs on people. Very rare if you're not doing something really bad. It's very rare that they get this wrong. But your channel or your video being demonetized, your video being demonetized, is possible. It doesn't happen often, but it is possible. So if you are doing things like claiming income, claiming that people can make money doing something that is harmful, illegal, something that is outside of the terms of service, they're going to be all over you. If you're not doing that, but it's on the gray area where I'm like, hey, you can make $100 today, and then I teach you for 45 minutes how to really do that, but it's gray, there's a chance. So a couple of things that I want you to do. I love how it's silent in here. Everybody's like, it's going to be okay. A couple of things that I want you to do. One thing I want you to do, I'm going to erase this, so grab it. One thing I want you to do is I want you to start thinking day one. And if this is, you've already started posting and you haven't been doing this, you can start today. Make today your day one. Start thinking about ways to solidify your foundation. So I think about this about once a week. I think this could happen. What would I do if it happened? First thing I tell myself is I have been building my email list from day one. And this has been through school, having my free school or even paid school. It's having my customers, so Stan, etc. It's having lead magnets. And a lead magnet is just something that you give away for free in exchange for an email address. And they get something for free, you get their email address, and you can continue to work with them. You either write to them each week or you just hold and you have this as insurance. Making sense? I also tell myself that there are other platforms. And that if I learned YouTube, I can learn other platforms and I can dominate in other platforms. Okay? I tell myself that I'm also going to be thinking about cash flow, meaning if I'm making this money and it is working now, and you get yours to work, which you will, am I saving for a rainy day? It's really saving, but it's also investing, right? Do I have a runway now because I start to make money that holds me over for 6 months, 3 months, a year, you know, in the case that something happens to YouTube or to my channel? Um, I'll put the word strategy here if it's just by itself, right? There's a lot more we can get into, but essentially what I'm saying is if you start thinking about this stuff from day one, then you will be rocked, but not, what is it? Shaken, but not stirred. You will be shaken, but not stirred. There's no self promotion in our chat. So please do not do that, or we'll have to refund your money and have you hang out outside. Shaken and not stirred. Does this make sense, everybody? Let me hear from you. Because these things can happen. I don't want to scare you. I want to make you aware. Information is power. Education is power. If it wasn't power, they wouldn't try to take it from us so often. Okay? So you know this, and you know more than 99% of people who are on YouTube right now. There's a lot of people on YouTube right now who are actually making money, and if something happened to their channel tomorrow, they would be devastated because they did not stop to think that that's possible. So you're going to build an email list. You're going to build a relationship, a community, I should say. School is a community first. So if you build community from your channel by sending them into a school, and that's my suggestion, by the way, is send them into a school rather than have it on YouTube itself, because if YouTube goes under, it goes. But send them to a community, a free community even. Again, we'll talk more in depth about this on Wednesday. Then if something happened to my YouTube, then tomorrow I go on Your First 5K, I go in Arlan's All Access, I go into my inner circle, and we would have conversation in there. And I would post videos in there, and I would do teachings in there. And then I would decide on what my next platform is going to be. And then I would say, what have I done to solidify this cash flow? Because I knew this could happen. Okay. So I just want to make sure you heard that because uh, it's important. Now, people come to YouTube to do a couple of things. They come to YouTube to learn and watch. Put that in the chat. They come to YouTube to learn and watch. When was the last time you went to Instagram to figure out how to do something on Canva or do something, how to fix your plumbing or to make a pizza? When's the last time you did that? More likely, you kind of just get what is fed to you on Instagram and other platforms. On YouTube, very often, people are searching to find you. They're searching to find topics, trainings, information, right? Just like we do on Google, just like we do on ChatGPT. This time, though, a video is served, and that could be your video. So, YouTube is, yes, social media, but it's also a library and it's also a search engine. Making sense? Okay. 2.7 billion monthly users. 500, I don't even know if this is accurate. I think it's more, it's way, it has to be more than this, but I think it's, no, it's 500 hours uploaded every minute. That may be a little off. But I do know this, 1 billion minutes watched every day by everybody on YouTube. And of course, this is something a lot of people know, but if you don't know, it's okay. It is the second largest search engine in the world. What is number one? Say it in the chat. YouTube is the second largest search engine. What is number one? Yes. In the replay, say it out loud. Google. Who owns YouTube? Google. So there's a stat that YouTube has paid out. This one's a really important one to me. YouTube has paid out, let's do this, since I'm not confident with that second number. YouTube has paid out $100 billion to creators from AdSense alone in the last 5 years. YouTube has paid $100 billion in just AdSense, meaning the money they pay you per view once you reach a certain threshold. So even if you just were looking at AdSense, there's money waiting on the table for you to be part of this. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to have a certification. You don't need any of that. And what the problem is that most people just think of YouTube as, and you can say what you think of YouTube as, like when you came in here, social, a place to go and hang out, a place to go check on daily news. I do that. A place to find out, visually how to do something. But very few YouTubers treat it like a business. Yeah, I love it. Let me know in the chat. So if you think of this, well, we'll do it a little bit better here. Representation. Okay, so these are going to be the viewers. Let me know if this is helping you all so far. Is this helping get a picture of things? These are the viewers on YouTube. These are you can call them creators or YouTubers. I consider myself a YouTuber, okay? And again, I'm not very good at yet. I'm not very good yet. I will become it. The kind of the relationship to space, but here it is. These are the actual profitable, you can't even see the word. The actual profitable creators are few and far between. So you have a bunch of viewers, you have a bunch of creators, and you have just a little bit of the profitable ones. In fact, I'm going to even go further and say that it's more like this. Because most YouTube creators do not treat YouTube like the business that it is. Tiny, tiny, tiny. They don't treat it like a business because what are they doing? Let me tell you the number one thing that they're doing. They're saying, I care about views. And I care about how many people are in my audience. Like, subscribers. But profit from YouTube does not equal either of those things. Has nothing to do really with either of it. Has a little bit to do with it, but not a ton. Because as you're going to learn this week, there are multiple ways to make money from YouTube. As you learned earlier today, simply creating an offer and promoting that offer in various ways, directly and indirectly, is a main way that I make money from YouTube. And I can have a video that has I just did this today. I looked at it today, 1.4K views. And I can have a video that has 14K views in the first week. And in a lot of cases, I can make this video make me more money than this one if I want. Because it's not about how many people saw the vid, how many people I was able to get to click, because I can make them click. It's about how we use YouTube and the videos themselves, the packaging and then the content to direct people to where we want them to go. Our calls to actions, our CTAs, calls to action. Anybody taking notes? Let me know in the chat if you're taking like handwritten or typed notes. That's great. Thank you for that. So what YouTube becomes powerful when you connect your videos to your product. And your products will say, or offers, okay? Because your offer could be like a one-on-one call. It could be an in-person VIP day or a virtual VIP day. A lot of things that we're going to learn about. But this is when it gets really special. This is when it gets very powerful. When you connect your vids to a product or offer. Yes, it's cool to get money paid to you by YouTube for views. That's really cool. And some people make a lot of money doing that. But the way people make money from day one instead of waiting to get monetized on YouTube is that they start selling something from YouTube. Now, if you don't know what I mean by monetized and all that, please know that you will. And thank you all for taking those notes. Another thing I want you to really understand about YouTube is the power of the trust that it builds. If anybody's getting low energy, because we're 45 minutes into this, I want you to kind of shake it up a little bit. Get yourself back. I want you to sharpen your mind right now. Sharpen your focus. You're doing an amazing job. And you already learned so much more than most people know about YouTube. So that's good. Pat yourself on the back. Okay? Woo! Now, videos. Yes, they create subscribers. But then they create this trust revenue. So, how many people here in the chat, please let me know, not how many people, but in the chat, please let me know how many of my videos you believe you have watched in the past year. Or any period of time. You can say X number in this many months, or this many days, or this many years. 30 plus. Oh, so many. 50, 80 to 85, 10, 4 times a month, 20 plus, 100. Probably one per week, 20 in the past month alone. I can't keep up with how many people are saying things, okay? What I want you to understand from that is First of all, there's a reason you continue to watch, and you didn't just watch one or two, but you continue to. Say in the chat why you continue to watch. If you watched one or two, why do you now have seen 20? Everybody's saying trust, value, learning, value, knowledge. You seem real. So authenticity, right? Lots and lots of value, lots and lots of trust. I want to make money. So I'm helping them do that, hopefully, or helping them get there. Inspiration, knowledge. Okay. So in the chat, without linking anywhere, without self-promotion, I just want you to say, what do you currently work on? Do you have a niche, or do you have something that you already sell, or a topic that you talk about? Even if you have a YouTube channel, what is that channel about? Budgeting, making music, spirituality, aviation, love it. Travel, senior athletes. Did someone say senior athletes? That's pretty awesome. Book course or person-centered healthcare. I try not to type too many times in a row just because we want to give everybody a chance to say their thing. Because I'll come back and watch the chat later. Painless relationships, gentle life lessons for 55 plus, coaching couples, personal and financial development. The breadth of this is just staggering. Go back to what I said earlier if you were here, and how I talked about how important it is to me to help more people find their voice and to have their voice shared to the world on YouTube and others. Because even in this room of 150, and in the people who are watching, the hundreds that'll watch after this, even in this small group, these are life-changing things if you're able to get this out into the world. Tell me in the chat if you do not know you do not know your niche. You do not know what you want it to be. Because a lot of people gave me an answer. Yeah. So what's really cool is there's some people who are saying, yeah, I don't know what my niche is, or I don't really know what it is. There's a couple of ways you're going to be able to figure that out today, okay? So your niche. Your niche is where your passion plus pain points of others collide. Everybody here who wrote their niche is right on, because I'm going to imagine you're doing what you're doing because there's a passion for it. If there's not a passion for your current niche, you want to relook at that, because you're not going to be able to do it for too long. But the other half of the equation is that other people have a pain point. Other people are urgently looking for help with it. So if we go back and you look at your niche, what you typed out, can you say that both things are true? So if you don't have your niche yet, start thinking about it from this perspective. You're going to have other pieces of this equals what are you skilled in? And we're going to come back to something that I've used a lot. Market demand goes back to pain point, but it's also, when you talk about market demand, it's more about what people are willing to pay for. If they're in pain, they're going to pay. Say that out loud. If they're in pain, they're going to pay. And I don't mean, like, I don't want anybody to be in pain. We want to help them get out of pain. right? We want to help them get out of pain. But if they're in pain, like if I have a headache and somebody came up to me and I didn't have any medicine and they said, here's some medicine, I won't name a brand, but here's some medicine that'll help your headache. It costs $1, or I'm just gonna not have it. Now, we'll talk about how nice that is. But let's just say I was out and about and nobody owed me anything and I got a headache and there was a little bodega and they had the medicine that I needed. And I went up to them and I said, I would like some medicine. And they said, okay, it costs $2 for these 2 pills. Everybody follow me? And I said, I cannot believe you're charging me $2 for these pills. How dare you charge me $2 for pills? No, I'm going to say I'm in pain, so I'm going to pay. Your decision and your morals are going to guide you on, are you going to charge them $2,000 for the pain? Are you going to gouge them? Are you going to charge more than is necessary or fair? These are the decisions we get to make every single day. That's why I have a $2,000 pass for 360. Right? That's why I do it. Like when people who here is in 360? There are 150 of us here. How many people are in 360? I'm going to do a guess. A lot of people. A lot of people are in 360. Okay. Tell the other people the value of 360. You don't have to say individual things, but you could like, how fast do you feel like you make your money back or the value is there? I could have made this 2,000. I could have sold it for 999. I thought about that at first. I could have made it, and I still can. Let's be fair. But I said no. What I get to do in a fair market, in a free market, is I get to put the price on that and decide what I'm going to charge. But I am going to charge because you always have people who say, "Why are you charging for it?" I get so many comments on my YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, I hold all my comments so I get to see them before they go live. And I get so many comments from people. If you're so rich, why are you charging? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. If you're so rich, why are you charging? What? What did you just say? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? So I want you all to start thinking through like, I need to charge for my talents, my skills. But here's the thing. Here's the problem. If you only focus on one of these, if you focus on your passion only, it is a hobby. Follow me here. If you focus on your passion only, it's a hobby. If you focus on your skill only, it can get really boring. I'm going to put a K at the end. It gets real boring. You can do it, you're skilled at it, but you're not passionate about it, so it gets boring. And if you focus only on market demand, oh, I'm going to do this because it's trending, I'm going to do this because I know it makes other people money, only, then you're going to have very quickly burnout because you won't have any passion for it and you're going to have to learn too much to get there and you're not going to have the passion to learn it to get there, so you're going to get burnout fast. So that is why you need to combine all of these. You need to combine these for your niche. I want everybody to do an exercise with me. Are you still with me? I know some people are going to have to go in a minute, but I'm still here. And you can watch the replay if you miss any of this, okay? If you are going to leave, let me tell you, in the replay, you're also going to get a slide deck that is going to help you step by step find your niche in about 15 minutes if you don't have one. Okay? So if you leave. Also, if you are in 360 Pass, if you're in 360 Pass, you have access to YouTube OS. YouTube OS. How many people have used that yet? Inside of YouTube OS, the second or third AI tool on this simple to use dashboard helps you find your niche. You type in a few words about yourself and it tells you what your YouTube channel should be. So if you have the 360 pass, you can also get YouTube OS on its own on my Stand store or inside of your first 5K classroom. I'll come back to this in a bit, okay? But I'm just for anybody who's leaving at the hour. YouTube OS is YouTube operating system. On its own, it costs $99. With the 360 pass, it is included. Just like this is included, the next challenge is included, our Tuesday calls are included, etc. It is a dashboard. You go to this website, the private page that I give you. You sign into it so that you can have your things saved. It has multiple AI tools that do all kinds of things like finding your title and your thumbnail and all kinds of things. But one of the first things it does is it tells you exactly what your channel could be about. It finds your niche for you. So if you're heading out and you won't get, you'll see this rest of this in the replay. I want you to know that. So I want you to do this exercise, okay? Does everybody understanding the 360 pass? If you go into the classroom in school, you can go into your 360 pass and you can find YouTube OS. You can find registration for this. You can find all kinds of replays, everything else. If you want to just get YouTube OS by itself, you go to my Stand store, but I would get the 360 pass because by the time you do that, you've already paid more than half of what this costs for everything. If that makes sense, right? Okay, so I want you to do this exercise with me. Take a picture of this if you want. If you didn't catch it, there is a replay that I will put up in just a moment after we finish up here. How are we feeling in this first hour? If you have to go, I understand you can catch the replay. But how are we feeling in this first hour? I feel good. I feel like we are getting stuff accomplished and we're figuring this stuff out. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. So I want you to write down 3 things in your notes. Okay, the first is, and this is going to be pretty broad, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I want it to be more like a kind of a quick fire, okay? You're not going to figure it all out in these 3, but just kind of open up your mind a little bit, give yourself a little bit of a break. So I want you to list 1 to 3 things you know well. So maybe you know how to do something, maybe you know about something, and it can be hobby-ish. It can be small, it can be anything. Like I would write myself, I would be like General Hospital, how to make money, and how to build community. That's what I would write down. So you understand it doesn't have to be like these big, like I went to college for this thing. It's like I know General Hospital really freaking well. So if you already start with this one, look at the channels I could have. I'm just going to choose one, by the way. You're only going to have one channel. Follow me, just one channel. I could have a channel about how to build a community. So a channel about school, just all school. General Hospital soap opera. That's right. That's right. A channel just about building community. And what could I do with that channel? It could be about building community because that's broad enough, but I could probably say like building community after 40, or building community for underrepresented founders, or building community in spaces that weren't built for you. Whatever the case is, I decide. Then within the channel and within my videos, I could promote school. The whole thing could be me promoting my affiliate link to school, and I could make, I've made from affiliates for school, not even doing that, I've made $60,000 in 18 months. So If I only did this and dedicated my time, imagine what I could do there. But I'm billing weekly or every couple, 2 times a week. I'm putting videos up about building community. So people are learning about building community. And then I underlying my product, my offer is school. How to make money. This is what I have right now. My channel is this. And we kind of know how that's going, right? General Hospital. And I know it sounds funny, but it's true. If you have a hobby, General Hospital, I could have a whole YouTube channel about my take on the episodes and the character arcs and the storylines of General Hospital. And I could have merch that's not competing with them, like not a trademark infringement, just maybe sayings or things that I say I'm a GH fan or whatever. I could have meetups. I could have a community, a school community for General Hospital that costs $9 a month and $50 a year. And we get together, we talk about GH. I could have all kinds of stuff. What's Sunny up to? All kinds of stuff. We're going to do a Sunny General Hospital 3-day challenge. Okay. We'll do it then. Is everybody understanding? So I want you to start thinking about, like, write this down. Did anybody start doing this? Write this down. The second thing I want you to write down is like 1 or 2 problems that people have asked you to solve, help them solve. Problems people ask to solve. Almost everybody has had somebody come up to them and say, hey, or call them or whatever and say, can you help me do this? Can you help me fix the TV? That's the last one I had from my wife. Can you help me? The TV broke. I got to get a new one. She comes in, it's fixed in 10 minutes. And then I want you to think of 1 or 2 things in that vein, people, that people pay for, or you can guess that they pay for. If you don't know this third one, that's okay. When you get the replay, you will also get a deck presentation, and it'll take you through 3 or 4 exercises that will help you with your niche if you don't already have it. If you already have your niche figured out, it will help you really define it and optimize it. Because if you have your niche, then you know what your YouTube channel can be about. Let's say you already have a YouTube channel. And one of the reasons you're not making money from it or making enough money from it is that it may not be as clearly defined as it should be. It may not be, let's hold questions until the end. It may not be as clearly defined or articulated as it should be. One thing I want you to do today is I want you to go to your channel if you already have one. And I want you to look at the About page in the last several videos you've put up and ask yourself, and you can even ask other people, do I know what this channel is about by looking at it if I'm a stranger? Do I know what this channel is about? A lot of times people really do that, and then within 24 hours, they've been able to slightly adjust the name, slightly adjust the next 7 videos that are going to come out because they are like, actually, it should be more clear. Someone mentioned just now that I have my offer GPT, which is free inside of your first 5K. If you go to the day 1 of our $100 offer challenge, you can see it in there and other places. That will help you too. But I really want you to look at this deck that I'm sending. Also, YouTube OS for your 360, like this is so precisely for YouTube, and it's the newest. The offer generator is a little bit more broad and it's a little bit older. So I would go to YouTube OS if you're in 360. Is there anybody here who is not in 360 who is going to join 360 today or this week? Let me know that, because that'll help me with how I present this week. April said that this, I'm assuming, has paid for itself in 360. Thank you. How much is 360? Somebody tell them how much 360 is. You're going to be blown away. You're going to be shocked. It's 360. So if you pay 260 for it, it's because it was an add-on during your checkout of this challenge. But it's because it's included, the challenge is included in 360. You really paid 360 for the pass and nothing for the challenge. Okay? So these things I want you to write down. Do these help you have a better sense of your niche? Yeah. Now, here's oh, I'm just looking at my notes here. I'm dropping stuff. Okay, I'm going to erase this, everybody. Replay or take a picture for later. And again, that deck you're going to get that I worked on is going to have this and more to help you really define it. If you want the shortcut, go into YouTube OS later today, type in a few words, and you're off to the races. And it'll save it for you on your account so that you can then take it and use it for the rest of YouTube OS. It's really, really powerful. A lot of people sleeping on it. A lot of people sleeping on it. YouTube OS. Okay. All right. When you take, hold on. See if I can do this. If you take a big market and you take a specific niche or subset of that market, what you're doing is you're finding the people who are underserved. And when you find people who are I'm going to explain all this, but when you find people who are underserved, that's where a lot of revenue is because people are not getting served. So I'll explain it. For instance, big market, let's say cars, just cars in general, right? Cars. Specific niche, Black people 55 plus. Even more specific niche, Black men 55 plus. If you take a big market and you take a specific niche in that market, you're going to find underserved people for that market. And then what happens if you become the person who sells expensive cars to Black men 55 plus? What happens is your marketing and promotion gets very sharp. You know how to target that audience. You're going to have very specific content. It also means because they have been underserved, and I don't mean just by race. I'm saying anybody can be underserved if you combine these things. But because there are not a ton of expensive car brands in this scenario, focused on finding the Black men who are over 55. We're going to find the Black men 20 to 30. The ones that are over 55 who actually have money in taste. They find them because they have been underserved, because they have not been talked to in promotions, advertising, people coming to them. They're going to be extra attentive and willing to be sold to. Does this make sense? Does it make sense? So what you want to do, again, even if you already have your niche, you want to look at it and say, doesn't the overall idea of this, like community or healthcare, wellness, that's a big market. Does this go specific enough within that market where I can dial in and find the specific people and I can be the person that I'm the person that becomes known for this to a lot of those people? Then you're talking to the underserved and you get to have this blue ocean. And they call it a blue ocean or a red ocean because a red ocean is bloody. There's so many sharks in the water. But a blue ocean is crystal clear because nobody else came over here. They did not believe or imagine or have enough insight and vision to know that this group was underserved. If you think about my venture fund, the way that I got on the map was I started a venture capital fund while I was homeless that serves women, people of color, and LGBTQ plus founders. In a country where less than 10% of all venture funding goes to those groups combined. So over the past 12 years, I've become someone synonymous with investing in underrepresented founders. And inside of that group, because we contain multitudes, there have been diamonds in those groups, some of them returning incredible amounts of capital and on their way to doing so. And I'll give you an even more specific example. If you were in Atlanta during my fireside or saw the replay of it, I tell the story of a certain founder who would not put his own face on his website because he was losing deals in this big genius play he was doing. He's a genius, in my opinion. He was at the time competing with SpaceX. Okay. Now he's more on the AI side and the infrastructure. But he wouldn't put his genius face on the website because he was a black man and they didn't take him seriously. We found him. We took him seriously and we invested in him. And then we told other people to invest in them that had more money than us. And today, he just announced last week, after we've been investors for 9 years, seeing it first, and I can say that with conviction, we saw it first. He just announced that they have a $300 million deal with a major AI company. One deal. It was a big market. Founders who want investment. But we found the specific niche and subset, so we found the underserved, and we were the only ones at the table for a long time. So we were able to get in. You can't get into his round now. You can't invest, meaning you can't invest in him right now. Unless you're coming in bank, like $100 million bank. But we can get in. So somebody just said, I have a good eye for talent. So do you. You have a good eye for what your passion is, what your skill is, and what the market is. And now you just need to get specific about your niche. You want a clear audience, a clear problem, and clear transformation. Another thing you want to think about with this on YouTube, because think about now, hopefully the wheels are turning for you. We're almost done, everybody. But hopefully the wheels are turning for you, because another thing you want to think about is, there's 3 things. Are people searching for this thing on YouTube? So how do you know? Go to YouTube, start typing in the topic and see what comes up organically. Like before you even stop typing, Google and YouTube are going to bring up what other people are searching. Are people searching for it? Then do the actual search. See what kind of videos have already been made in the big market and in your niche. See what topics have views. See if other channels are succeeding in your niche. When I say niche, I don't mean you don't want anybody ever in life to have ever heard of what you're talking about, because then they won't be searching for it. But you want them to be searching for the broad, big market and maybe searching for a keyword in your niche. And then you are going to you're going to help them find you. because your videos are going to have the right thumbnails, the right titles. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Click-worthy content, okay? And then you're going to ask yourself, are products and offers sold currently in this space? Are products currently sold in this space? Like, are people, if I go to their descriptions, are they selling stuff? What you want to find is somewhere where people are searching for it. There are already people who have kind of like stepped on the moon once for you, but there's not a lot. It's not saturated. It's not everybody. You're trying to compete with everybody. Like I have to compete with Myron Golden, Hormozy, Cody Sanchez, Dan Martell. I have to compete with them essentially. I'm up to the challenge. But if I'm starting over from scratch, I think what I want to do is just do the General Hospital channel or do the community channel from my perspective. Someone asked, what do I mean about other channels? And I'll answer that because it is important. I'm talking about other YouTube channels. So people have channels on YouTube, right? So think of YouTube as the TV, and then everybody's own channel is like a TV channel. And then within channels, they have videos that they post. So you're going to look at you're going to go to the search bar on YouTube on the homepage, and you're going to type in one or two of your keywords in your niche. And if you don't have your niche yet, you're going to go through the process that I've been talking about first. And then you're going to see what other people have already made about your topic. And it's not to copy them, it's really just to get a sense of what are other people already talking about? What are other people searching for? What are other people asking about? You're going to go even further and you're going to get into what are people saying in the comments of these videos. This is a banger suggestion, y'all. Most people will never do this. Most people will never do this. This makes me a lot of money. And I don't mean just your comments. Of course, your comments are important. You're going to have to pay attention to the comments people end up making on your videos. But go into the comments of who you consider maybe a competitor or adjacent, any of that. Exactly. Market research. What are people asking in the comments? Because guess what you can do when you see questions, especially ones that are asked more than once? Build content around the answers. How do you do? Yes, you can certainly make products around the answers. Someone said, how do you do that? You click on someone's video after you've searched for your niche. Click on a video that's doing well by views. Click on it. Below the video, you will see comments and just read them. One thing that I do is I will go and copy a bunch of my comments, but you can do this for someone else. Copy, just hold down the copy all the way down the page as much as you can do, and then paste it into ChatGPT or Claude and say, analyze these comments on my competitor's channel or video and tell me what the next 3 videos I should post are. Anybody going to do that? Anybody going to do that? I mean, that alone will help you so much. Since so many people are in 360 and so many people said they're joining 360, highly recommend your next steps are 2 things. I'm going to tell you your next steps, okay? Your next steps are one, what time is it? 12:20. I would say in the next 30 to 60 minutes, I'm going to put up the replay. And when I put up the replay, I'm going to put it in 2 places. I'm going to put it in the 360 pass section of the classroom of Your First 5K, because that is where it is in 360. Same place you got the registration, I'll put the replay. I'm also going to put it inside of Stan, the course link that you received after you paid for it. And I will try my very best to send out an email, but if you did not say that you wanted emails, you may not receive it, but I'm going to try, okay? Either way, you will have access to the replay. I will email you all, do not worry, okay? Don't get panicked. When you get the replay, you are going to also get a slide deck, which is just a PDF. That's all that means. PDF that's going to have the exercises. And I always have a problem spelling this word. Did I spell it right? Exercise. So your next step is to just know when the replay hits that there's this exercise. Thank you. You're going to do this exercise. And then for those of you who are in 360, if you are a VIP member, you're going to go to YouTube OS. Again, you can find that in the classroom in the 360 Pass section. And you're going to click on YouTube OS and you're going to look at the first 2 or 3 things, and it's going to, like, numbers, and it's going to say help you find your channel niche or help you find your channel topic. And you're going to use that AI, use Arlan's AI to optimize your niche. Okay, these are your 2 steps. You can also watch part of the replay if you missed anything or if you want to refresh. But this is what I would do today, because we got a hefty 4 days left. Okay, does this make sense? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down what the next days are going to be like, and then I'm going to take a couple of questions. So once I have this on the once I have this written, so get your questions going. You can start them now. I won't get to all of them, but I will get to a couple, okay? And if you write a question next to it, say that you're in 360 if you are in 360, because I will prioritize those because you are a VIP. So today we talked about niche, and you have some homework. Tomorrow we're going to talk about clicks plus retention. So, like, now we understand what we're doing. How do we get people to watch our stuff, and how do we get people to stay? Day 3, we're going to talk about monetization, the many ways you can make money. On day 4, we're going to talk about growing your audience. And then day 5, we're going to talk about the flywheel of it all. The sales flywheel, which, by the way, there is even a sales flywheel OS inside of 360. Can you believe that? There's a first dollar OS in 360. And then there's a sales flywheel. Let me look at some of the questions here. Okay. Okay, I paid $99 for this challenge. Do I get to pay the full, do I have to pay the full amount? No. For 360, you'll pay $260. The way you do that is when you paid on Stan, you received like 3 or 4 emails from me. All you need to do is go into your email and search for those Stan emails I sent originally. One of them or 2 of them tell you how to do the $260 add-on. If you cannot find it after doing a keyword search, please do that first. But if you cannot find it after doing a keyword search, you can either go, oh, no, you can't go to my stand. You can send me an email at arlanhamilton@gmail, and you can see how to spell my name online. arlanhamilton@gmail. Please do not type that out for me. Just know that that's what you can do. But you, every single person here who purchased on Stan, that's how you got here. If you are not already in 360, you received emails from me that give you links to upgrade. Can you go over what is General Hospital? General Hospital is a soap opera on ABC that has been around for more than 50 years. I've been watching it for 35 of those years, and it's just a campy, fun, daily drama, daytime drama. How do you copy your chat GPT and paste on my system? I'm not computer knowledge. I'm learning as I go. So what I was talking about earlier was that I will sometimes just copy, like I'll go to the top of a page, and I do this on desktop. You can do it on your phone. If you're on your phone, if you have like an iPhone, I know how to do it. I don't know how to do it on another type of phone, but you hold down, you press down. If anybody else wants to help answer this, please do. But you press down and then you just hold it as you scroll down. If you're on your desktop, uh, I, I think it's Command C, or you hold down. Either way, you can research that. Guess what? You can go to YouTube and say, how do I copy? I'm going to tell you that honestly, because it'll have a visual for you. But either way, you copy it, and then you go to ChatGPT or Claude, and you paste it. And you say to ChatGPT, these are comments from my page, or from my competitor's page, or for some random person's page. What can I learn from this about what my next video should be about? And it'll tell you. April says, I'm keeping my name channel. Is it or my main, maybe you meant main? Is it advisable to create a separate YouTube channel anyway for each of my niches? Here's what I'm going to tell you. It is not advisable. My advice to you, and you're going to take it or leave it, I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to convince you of this because you will learn the hard way if you don't listen. You want to focus on one channel. One channel is hard enough. Why would you add stress to yourself and try to juggle more than one channel? At least in the first year. Why? You're going to have one channel and one niche, and you're going to do really well in that channel and really well in that niche. And then you buy yourself the option of adding a second channel. You earn your right to add a second channel. Because what some people are thinking is, well, I have more than one great niche. If I do two channels, that's 2 times the opportunity to make money. No, it's not. It's split focus. It's having to be consistent double the time. And it is not, you're not learning enough about your focused energy. You're not focused enough to learn what you need to learn to compound those learnings each day. So what I would do, this is what I say about almost anything, is do one thing for a long enough to make enough money where you're then like, I don't even have to ask the question. I'm going to start my second channel because I can. I earn this. I know the answer. So in other words, if you have to ask, you should only have one channel. Does that make sense? Like if somebody asked, if it were me, I'm going to say I'm going to have a second channel because I don't have to ask because I've earned it. But if you have to ask, I have to imagine that you haven't had enough time and made enough money from that one channel and niche to be ready to try to duplicate anything. Some people are going to hear that and really fly with me, and some people are going to be like, nope, I'm doing 2 channels. And you just let me know how that's going in 30 days. I wish you well, but I wish you well with logic and experience. What if you have many ideas? Oh, and I'm saying all this with love, by the way, everybody. Real love. Okay, what if you have many ideas for an offer and not sure which one to choose? We're going to get into the offers on day 3, okay? So we'll get into offers on day 3. If you're very, very desperate to learn more about offers, head into the free classroom on your first 5K. Go into day 1. In that training for the $100 offer challenge, I teach you about what to do if you have more than one offer. So I think I answered that question already that Sherry's asking. Um, yeah, you get the $100 off because you're in here. If you're in here and you're not in 360, you get $100 off of 360. Does that make sense? I know there's a lot more messages, so I'm behind. But yeah, you get $100 off. Thank you, William. Kat wants to know if I'm just starting my YouTube niche videos, should I offer a low cost or high cost item? We're going to get into this on day 3 because it's not one answer fits all. And then also there's a difference between what people think high cost and low cost is. So we'll get it more into in day 3. Does YouTube OS work on every browser? I'm using Chrome, but none of the links in the left menu are clickable. You have to sign in to YouTube OS because not you don't have to sign into all of my OSs, but YouTube OS you do because you get to save all your work so that you can have this like library of information for yourself. It's really cool. So just kind of follow the directions. And if you can't figure it out, go ahead and email me at arlanhamilton@gmail. But please try not to unless you really go into all the directions. You're going through it and you still can't do it. Okay. Yep. I'm still catching up, everybody. Will this work for faceless channels? Yeah, so I teach about faceless channels. In fact, I have a faceless channel, one faceless channel module inside of our YouTube accelerator inside of the free membership. So anybody who's not going to go to 360, who is not in 360 and you want more, go into our accelerator. There's a ton in there. Um, I've tried my very best to want to help support people doing faceless channels, but it takes so much to do. I'll tell you, like inside of Arlen's All Access and Inner Circle, we have a YouTube guru named Ty, and Ty has a faceless channel. It's called Ty's Hot Mess History. You may know about it, where she talks about old school messes and tea. And she's faceless. And her faceless channel is, I mean, she spends hours researching. Then before she used to do it all on her own, then now she has an editor who she spends hundreds to edit each one. And then she spends hours doing the voiceover. If you want to do all that, okay, but why not just not do that and just show your face? So then there's another type of faceless video where that I've seen that I think is really cool. And it's this Black woman who helps you with like job searches. She tells you what jobs are available. So she sometimes she shows her face, but when her faceless videos are like this, it's just her showing her screen on her laptop on Zoom, and she's just taking you to job opportunities that she found online, and she's walking through them, and she gets hundreds of thousands of views. So you can do a faceless channel. I just haven't seen it work out for a lot of people for the purposes that we have. Because she does really well, but she also is like more than full time doing this. Her husband is her co-founder. She has an entire SaaS program. I I just feel like a lot of times when people are trying to do faceless, they're trying to avoid something. And when they could just face it, no pun, they could face it and it would make it so much easier just to hit record. But you're trying to avoid being on camera for some reason, and then over here you got to learn these 10 other skills to be faceless. But yes, YouTube OS works with faceless channels. In fact, there is a section about faceless channels. I just personally don't necessarily think that you should do that. Zeta says, I have one channel already, but I haven't done anything to it in the last year. Do I still use the channel? It's all going to depend. It's not going to be one size fits all. If you have subscribers and those subscribers would still be the same types of subscribers who are going to be in your new niche or your updated niche, and you feel like I'm going to start anew and I'm just going to start this, you can go ahead and keep the channel. If you feel like the subscribers are just completely different types of people who would not like what you're doing, you need to start a new channel, and it's the only channel you work on. Yeah, cool. Okay. What if you want to take people on the journey with you of building a career, for instance, life insurance? Do you think it's doable, and should we really document or maybe batch record later and act it out? If you're so one of the things about trust in YouTube is that you need people to trust you for a reason. So you don't want to fabricate things, you don't want to lie, you don't want to exaggerate. What you want to do is, if it's going to be a documentary, let it be a documentary. The good, the bad, the ugly. It doesn't mean that you have to be filming 24/7 or even every day. You can just film for 15 minutes. I'm going to give you an update on how things are going. So yesterday, I told you that we were doing this and I thought I had the deal, but then the deal didn't come through last night. They told me it wasn't going to happen. So right now, I'm just trying to figure out what to do next. Okay, you recorded that. Then the next day, okay, I got some stuff together. I think I have a new lead, da 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 da, right? And then you can stitch that together. That's how you would do a documentary. You don't have to have like a real world or like, a reality show kind of setup. Another thing you can do is, um, yeah, so I do think documenting is good, but when you do documenting, really make sure that you're helping the viewer. So you have to still go into it with intention. I'm documenting my life for what? How is this going to help the viewer? If you document your life, like I just watched a great video that was like 45 minutes, maybe 55 minutes. Just watched it yesterday, and it was about starting this new product within another company. And it was the 14 days that it took to build it and start selling it. And it was a documentary. This is what happened on day one. This is what happened on day two. This is what happened on day three. But throughout it, the person said, if I could give you one takeaway from what I just learned today, it's da da da. Right? It's like it helped the viewer have a reason to be there. I have not finished the $100 offer 5-day challenge, but I am here and I need to balance my energy. Should I just focus on this week and then go back to that challenge next week? Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. This one's live, so it'll help you with energy anyway. And you'll be able to do, especially if you stay with it and kind of do the homework and kind of go with me. I would do this one live. And then by the end of this week, you're going to know enough that you're going to be like, oh, actually, I go back to the $100 offer challenge with even more information and insight. So it's like, it's going to be a good thing, actually, not just a balance. I named my YouTube the same as the name of my business. However, I don't feel that people who do not know me will know my channel, what my channel is about. Should I change the name? Yes. You have to imagine, everybody, that people watching you don't know who you are, don't know any of your inside jokes or inside information. I do that still today. So you want to give people the best chance to find you. So yes, I would change it. Veronica says, I'm in your stand store. I don't see the PDF. That's because I'm right here live. So what I said is, I didn't put it here. What I said is, when I do the replay, I will do the PDF because I'm doing it all manual. So I will let this download. I will then upload it to the two places. And when I do that, I'll also upload that PDF file. Hey, Okay. So someone wants to know, Arlan, will you discuss the strategy between shorts and longer form on YouTube? Yep. Tomorrow we're going to talk about content. Tomorrow we're talking about content. So we'll talk about clicks and retention. And we'll talk about all of that. Audience growth too is another place we'll talk about it. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, that's right, Lisa. It'll take me about anywhere between 30 and 60 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, depending on how long it takes the file to download or upload from the cloud. But basically, as soon as I humanly can, I will upload this. I'm going to go right from this to uploading. It'll take some minutes to do its thing, and then I'll put that PDF up. And then you have the rest of the day to do it before you see me again tomorrow. How many people here are coming back? How many people here are going to come back to at least one more day? And I'm hoping that's tomorrow. Yeah? How many people here are signing up for the 360 Pass so that you have everything? You have access to the Sales Flywheel OS, the YouTube OS, our Lovable Revenue Challenge in a couple of weeks, and so much more. So much more. Okay? Listen, if you post about this, I do encourage you to post about it in your first 5K, but please do not post any links or anything like that because this is private information. You can post like one screenshot or something like that. I don't mind that at all, but please do not post links to things, links to replays. Don't share that. Here's another thing I wanted to say. So somebody just mentioned it too. Sometimes some people can't afford right now the 360 pass. Totally get that. Two things. Two things if you can't afford the 360 pass. Maybe three? Three things. Two things. I'm going to say two things, okay? If you cannot afford the 360 pass, then what I want you to do is think about these two things. One is if you purchase it on Stan, you can many people, not all, have access to Afterpay and or Klarna. So you can actually get it buy now, pay later. Buy now, pay later. So at checkout, you might have access to this depending on where you live, to this option if you get it from my Stan. The second thing I want to say to you is that if you do the $100 offer 5-day challenge inside of our free classroom on your first 5K, and you do that full challenge, it'll help you make the 260 for the upgrade by just doing the challenge. There have been so many members who have made 100, 200, 5, 1,000, even 5,000 during the challenge, during it. So go in there, make the money, and then you can upgrade if you want to or spend it elsewhere. Make sense?